Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spin Rack, and we also have
Calvin Ellis ready to rock.
and
And Mars who's pissed, and Mars who's very pissed off.
it's our host is just allowing me to hold the con for a little while to keep you guys connected. We're gonna do the Joker trailer. You guys ready?
Ready to rock.
Go for it, baby.
Here we go.
Let's go, boys. It's showtime. Wakey, wakey.
Hey, Fleck, you got a joke for us today?
We use music to make us whole, to balance the fractures within ourselves.
I'm nobody. I haven't done anything with my life like you have. Let's get out of here.
I don't
Get
know.
out of here.
I don't know if I'm cool with Harley being
Lady Gaga?
No, I don't. I mean, this is like it's picking up the other Suicide Squad.
It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world is sweet love.
Tell us, what's changed, Arthur?
I'll tell you what's changed. I'm not alone anymore. That's what we should be talking about.
I was okay with
See
this
the real
thing.
you.
The lipstick on the prison what's the name?
Yeah, that's actually pretty hot. That lipstick, and then he puts his face there. That's absolutely hot.
That was okay. Okay, Mars, what do you think?
Oh my goodness, what don't I think? Okay, that's really the question you gotta ask, right? So look, right off the bat, Lady Gaga is in there, so I'm telling you that. So is it like a simple grab to bring Lady Gaga's fans over, or is this really they're bringing her in as a character, a specific character who's there? Could it be Harley Quinn? I don't know. Will they have the balls enough to say, hey, they want this person also to be another version of Harley Quinn at the exact same time? I don't know if that makes a lot of sense. So I'm not sure what's going on there on that end. Dude,
You saying that
looks
Barbie?
so
You saying that
emancipated.
Barbie is still? You saying that the actress who played Barbie is still Harley Quinn to the public, right? That's what you're
Yeah,
saying.
I think Gunn. Yeah, didn't Gunn say that she's still
Margot
Harley Quinn?
Robbie.
Yeah, Margot
Hal, do
Robbie.
you remember?
I'm saying,
What was the question?
You remember if Margot Robbie is still Harley Quinn in the James Gunn universe?
That's a good question. I don't know if he's. I don't know how. I don't believe he said any changes. So yeah, he would still. She would still be Harley Quinn. But the Joker is like an alternative universe, which Gunn already spoke to. So you could have a different actress playing Harley Quinn.
So Mars, keep it going. I know I cut into what you were saying. Keep going.
Yeah. In addition, this guy is so emancipated. I just can't. I don't know, bro. He looks horrible, absolutely horrible. I'm like, yo, what is going on with this guy? It's like, come on, man. This is to me, it's sick. I don't think he should be allowed to do stuff like that. It's not healthy. For no role does make sense for him. None of them. No.
Not 50
he's
Cent
doing
losing
it.
weight. Not who else has lost weight? There's a bunch of people.
No one. This is, I know the Joker's a nutcase, but this is sickening. I'm sorry. I don't know if I can watch this movie on that premise alone, because if you're losing all this weight to do this, because you're a method actor and it has to go all the way, it's nuts. I was against it when Christian Bale did it, for one of the movies that he was in, and I'm not for this either. So I'm telling you right now, I'm practically out.
That movie was The Machinist.
All right, thanks.
Machinist, yes, thank you. Very disturbing. Yo, Cal, what's your take on this, bro?
I think I'll stream it.
Oh, you're saying you'll wait till it comes on to Max and you'll stream. Okay, good. All right.
Yes, that's
Or
what I think I
Netflix.
am, because
That's what I think.
I was not somebody to go run and see the first Joker movie. I streamed that one. That's all I was, oh, this is okay. But again, it's it, you could do this with you could have told this story and it didn't have to be the Joker. Okay, you could have called it like the Choker, okay, or the bad guy or what have you, and it would have been just some guy in an outfit, and you could have went through the same, you could have went through the same story beats, and it wouldn't have been any issue. So there's nothing about this that really ties to the Joker. It's a sad look story of this guy losing his mind. You don't really need the Joker character to do that. Now with this, and then the other problem is that the first movie did really well, so we know we're going to get a sequel, and you never know if the first one did really well just because it was different, and it was a change of pace for people, but they don't really want more of it. So now you do this one, and you don't know if people are going to turn out the same way they did for this, even if they do bring in, even if Harley Quinn is brought in as a character. So I don't know too much. I don't know too much on that, but I don't think I'm trying to remember the last time the Joker was actually rendered like the Joker. That was actually what's this cat's name again?
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that was probably the last time it was rendered as a Joker, and everybody hated it. They were like, "No, it's supposed to be like, great." I'm at a loss for names now. Oh, Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, and I'm like, that wasn't the Joker.
Yeah.
I was like, have you guys read a
Thank you.
comic book?
Thank you. That was not the
I was
Joker.
like, have you guys read a comic book? That's not the Joker. I said, but they loved, that became who the Joker was supposed to be, and he's an agent of chaos. I was like, no, Joker's a criminal. He's a psychopath, and he comes up with these like almost clownish ways of killing people. And Cesar Romero got it, and Jack Nicholson got it, and again, can't remember his name from Suicide Squad.
Jared Leto. Jared Leto.
Yeah, Jared Leto was like, okay, yeah, he's right there. Where this guy says something and he kills him almost arbitrarily because he's like, oh yeah, I think you were looking at Harley. I was like, when did that happen? How quick was that look? But that was part of the reason that the Joker was dangerous. But the Joker could still somehow attract guys to work for him, even though they know at any point he could just stick a cigarette in their mouth and it was dynamite. But that was closer with the character. Everything else that they're doing is they see the Joker as something they can use to explore other types of story beats, as opposed to, hey, this is who this character is. One of the reasons why it was popular, and yeah, he does have a certain amount of malleability, but this isn't, but this stuff that you're going over here with, okay, that's fine for the movies and such. But I just wouldn't mind to see a movie with the Joker being the Joker, as opposed to these other things that they imagine him as.
Well, I would say I agree with all you guys' points. The other thing I would point out is, like, in reading, like, what's it, Batman from the 40s to the 70s, they had the first Joker story, and that story seemed like it could be translated to film very easily, more so than the Killing Joke, because it starts where the Joker's like, you don't know who he is. He's like saying this person's gonna die at 12 at night, and he got police protecting him. And the guy's like, I made it, it's 12 at night. And they're playing cards, and then the Joker has a smile and he has the Joker card at the same time. It's so visual, that sort of story. And it's just like getting to seemingly where Jared Leto was, where he was just somebody that was crazy. And the other thing is, I know people go to complain about Cesar Romero because he still had his mustache. It's like, as a kid, I didn't know anything like that. And the fact I saw the first Joker story where Batman and Joker fought, and the Joker pushes Batman over a bridge and said, oh, I finally have an adversary, a worthy adversary type of deal as far as fighting. So it's like you had all these elements early on, and Cesar Romero sort of felt like that. And at the same time, Cesar Romero was kind of crazy, but he was also kind of like gangster too. So you had this get 'em boys, but at the same time, when they did the one where he did the operatic one where it's like totally nuts, or the Joker's utility belt, all these crazy stuff that he was doing. So it's like, get into this. I'll go to what's in the trailer, which I didn't talk about. I have an issue that they changed, like the story that was it Paul Dini and Bruce Timm did for their first real comic book was kind of like the best story ever, where you had against type. She wasn't just a criminal; she was just a ne'er-do-well, someone who kind of pushed her way through psychology, and she's easily manipulated by the Joker into doing his bidding. And then she thinks she's, at the same time, there's something there. And that's the whole key where you have when she's been with the Joker for all this time, she's trying to gain favor now instead of at first where it was. Then the next thing you know, Batman hears the story like, hey, you fixed my Joker's plan. And Batman starts laughing. It's like, he's not going for this. And he's like, I've never heard Batman laugh. He's almost scared me type of deal. So it's like that portion of her character of being the ne'er-do-well psychologist that doesn't know anything she's doing. She just like, running her way through life, like doing stupidity. And that leads her to becoming Harley Quinn rather than having her being insane, and they make connection because of that, because they're two people who've been mistreated in Arkham Asylum. It's just kind of like, yeah, okay, we get it. Like we're doing our what's that natural born killers things with comedy, and we don't know what's real and we don't know what's fake. Are they gonna get a TV show? Like they're kind of playing out the Dark Knight scene a little further than we can go, where they actually have a comedy or variety show. What is it in their head type of deal? I don't know what it is, but ultimately, it was successful. We got to get to the other harder part, is what Cal brought up. Cal, do you think this one's going to be successful, or it is as you was thinking, it was a one-off?
I don't think it's going to be as successful as the first one. I think the first one was a one-off. Part of the reason is because nobody expected it to do that well. And usually when these things do well, like, oh wow, this is a surprise, big hit. This thing did over 900 million, or did it get to $1 billion? I can't remember exactly what the numbers are. I think it was like, it got, it was like very close. And they were not expecting it. This is still at the point when Warner Brothers was like, "Oh, we're still making money off these superhero movies, so let's just keep making them." We lost money on Justice League. It's all over. But again, I just thought that was something different. It was a change of pace, and so people went for it. I don't know if they want more of that. Okay. I don't know if they want more of that. So. Say again. It made $1 billion.
It did do $1 billion. It did do $1 billion over worldwide.
Yeah, it did $1 billion. Yeah. So if it does $1 billion, you're kind of obligated to do a sequel because there's still some money on the table. Who knows how well it will do? But I just don't think there is sustained interest for this. For the Joker based on what I saw in the first movie. It was just, hey, something different. We got some time on our hands. Let's go see this. Do you want to see a sequel? I don't know if there was a strong drumbeat for that. This is more like, hey, this made a lot of money, so we're kind of obligated to make another movie to see how much more money is still out there.
And Mars, what do you say? Mars,
I say, didn't like the first one. I doubt I'll like the second one.
No.
Okay.
Success.
No. So,
success-wise.
Oh, success-wise, clearly there's an audience for someone who goes through this type of stuff. I think it was also a unique time period when the first one came out. There was like no real major movies going against it, and this was going against type for the general comic book movie, where you see this guy, go through his, I guess, madness, if you want to look at it, or one person put down, he becomes revealed like a butterfly, which I totally disagree with that analogy. But I could see why people say, hey, this is a guy, the perfect guy to rebel against a system that's been driving us nuts and doing all these things. I get it. It's just really not my cup of tea. The Joker here to me is irredeemable. Yes, he's had a difficult time. He's downtrodden, but the dude has issues. And the actor to do what he's doing also, I think someone needs to call these guys out. I mean, Stag or whatever. But overall, I mean, look, it's fresh. I see Gaga in it, and I think that's a very, always good to bring someone fresh in. And I think she can hold her own. But the question is, am I going to be interested enough, with that particular character? Probably because I'm you talk about Cesar Romero, and Cesar Romero was the template for a lot of what the Joker was, right? And then you had Jack Nicklaus, right? And
Nicholson.
Nicholson. Sorry about that. They have this is what people want to see, and now they have Keith Ledger. You know, this is what people like to see in the Joker. But I don't know. To me, I don't really like seeing some of this stuff. It's it takes away from he's a criminal, but he's a criminal mastermind, right? He's doing these crazy things, but he's getting away with tons of money at the same time. And here I just don't feel he's just I don't know what the cow say, chaos agent.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I'm just I'm all for Law and Order.
Well, I would only add, looking at the box office mojo, it had such a huge international success. That audience, if the audience decides not to come in, then you're busted. I'm pretty sure domestic is going to be exactly as you guys feel, that it's not going to be as big, but that international is like it's like over 700, it's almost 750 million, and then they released it in a little while later. For I guess for some strange reason, they have a re-release on it. So I guess a couple other later places they released it. That's what this thing is. But so
well, I'm not saying it's not going to be successful. I'm just saying, is it to me a cup of tea that I'm interested in following? I like more uplifting superhero fare,
Mhm.
and this is, I mean, don't get me wrong, Batman can be a downer sometimes, but this is like not something that brings about like, wow, this is really a new way to look at life, a new way. No, this is like just down, everything got to come down, burn it all down. That's what I feel. And of course Cal agrees with me 100%. So
All right.
what
Yeah,
You know, I might actually agree with him this time. I might actually agree.
All right, so I spoke too soon. All right, so then my last thing I would ask here of you guys, to anyone, why hasn't Marvel Disney said, hey, they did the Joker, why can't we do Thanos is that successful? We've done Loki, but he wasn't full on villain. He was almost a hero in his series. Why don't we do a full on like crazy villain, like figure a villain as our movie, like one of those characters? Why hasn't Marvel kind of picked that out and said we could do this too?
Well, Marvel doesn't like to do villain stories. Marvel likes to turn the villains into anti-heroes and do like buddy cop stuff with them. So you get Venom, and then you get Helmut Zemo and Falcon and Winter Soldier. If they brought back Thanos, they would make Thanos Thanos would make him so likable. He'd be doing kids parties like Barney or something. They don't really do that too well. The only villain, maybe the only two villains I know who they might be able to do something like that with, Magneto and Doctor Doom. Those guys seem to stay consistently bad regardless. But otherwise, they soften the edges with these dudes so much that it's not really a villain story at the end of the day. Marvel falls into this trap of making the villain relatable. Like, oh, we can understand his story. That's why he's murdering all these people, because of what he experienced as a child. We should show him empathy. Like, we should lock him up. That's what we should be doing first and foremost.
Well, I take offense to your Doctor Doom reference, first of all, and I think they're better characters to choose, such as Mephisto, who's definitely irredeemable in what he does.
He's a devil. Mephisto's
yes.
He's the devil. I would think that the devil's irredeemable.
So I think that's a better character than Doctor Doom. But there have been many stories where Doctor Doom has not only been bad. But look, the fact of the matter is, here, I think there's an audience. I think there's one thing that we've seen so far. Marvel's tried a bunch of different things. Where they're trying to horror with remember the X-Men, or the New Mutants. I think that they tried the horror there. They tried the Western move. The outer space. But I know I lost it there. I was thinking Guardians of the Galaxy. They didn't do the Western there. I'm thinking Star Wars. Actually, it was Mandalorian. But they did the outer space with Guardians of the Galaxy. They did the Werewolf by Night. We just recently had that with Moon Knight and stuff like that. So they're doing different type of genres, but they haven't. I'm not saying they're not working, but there's an audience for that, and they need to probably grow their audience for some of those things, because people are not typical watching superhero movies. Say, oh, I want to get scared, or oh, I want to. But in this particular movie where he is the chaos agent. There's an audience for that. There are people who want to see those type of things, And the fact that it made $1 billion has astounded me to this day. I mean, why would that make $1 billion and then I don't know, Ms. Marvel doesn't make $1 billion? It's like what are the audience looking for? And we all know the audience for movies who actually go to the movie theaters and consume that type of stuff is really, really small, right? It's not tens of millions and millions of people. It's probably a couple million people either way, especially the movie theater tickets being $20 a pop in some places, right? So, yeah, I mean, look, good luck with them. I'm waiting for the next Batman movie, all right? Or Deadpool and Wolverine.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with Batman going forward, because that character got a lot of light once. Well, I mean, he pretty much it was very similar to the Superman films, and where he got 4 films, and then pretty much the franchise, ran out of gas right there, and then they were like, all right, and then they, they sort of let's reboot both of them, but since you had Christopher Nolan with the Batman films, and he had a clear vision for taking them forward, and he was committed to it. We got to see those 3. So, Batman has been pretty well developed, but, I could tell even when they didn't have this, it was for the first time in years, they didn't have a Batman cartoon. And I was like, okay, they don't have any ideas for this character right now, other than the fact that he's Batman. They were living off Lego Batman for a while. And then even with the new one, the Batman, that's still considered to be like, okay, this is like an alternative universe Batman, not necessarily the Batman we're going to be banking on for future films. So I want to see what they're going to do going forward, because but I'm looking at it like, okay, you guys have run out of gas in terms of what you want to do in terms of the films. Are you going to, go to some of the source material and see if you can reinvigorate yourself?
But it's interesting that you're saying that, because one of the things people have been talking about is that they're so successful, and that Gunn would really like to bring them back in. Either say that, hey, this Batman is an alternate universe, like Earth, 555 or whatever, but bring him in. But these characters, DC had this whole thing where they gave their actors like, hey, you can do what you want with this character, and it's not part. And so once again, and this is something we see in the comic books all the time, right? You have Batman. Right, and then you have Detective Comics, and then you have the Black Label, which is like off the charts. Or you have a new story of Batman Forever. You know what I'm trying to say? And so I think, to me, this confuses the audience as to who and what a character is, and trying to sell it is difficult. I think we had a conversation about this regarding Superman, where you have him being treated one way, or a character being treated one way, and then in the movies or TV show, it's another way. You know what I'm trying to say? Or they kill him off, and then he's still alive in the comic. To me, this really hurts the brand overall. It has to be something, to me, consistent. But again, you can get an audience for everything. I never thought they would have the amount of Batman titles that they currently have, right? I mean, how far can you stretch that band? But then look at X-Men did that.
How far?
X-Men did it.
They can keep going. Same with X-Men. They can keep going as long as there's audience, and then once the audience goes, then it dissipates. Sorry, cutting. Keep going.
And then. No, that's okay. And then you have the Spider-Man. I mean, look at how far that's gone with the whole Spider-Verse and the Gwen and the
Spawn.
Sometimes it's a good idea. And Spawn and Con. Yeah, exactly. I mean, not Spawn. You mean
Venom. Spawn.
Venom. Yeah.
The female Spawn. So, they had a bunch of Spawn comics. Twitch and Twitch.
Yeah.
As long as the audience is there to. Well, that's a part of success, is that you have to keep expanding. And sometimes, at some point, we can see the suit can get thin at some point, but it happens. All right, so we're all struggling with this. We're not expecting it to be as big a success, but I still have to point out that the overseas, for some reason, this was like a shot in the arm for them. That's 750 million people going out there and seeing it. That's as much as the Suicide made on its own. So it's like that's a huge amount of people. So it's wonder if they can still tap in. But it's also been almost 3 years since the last one. Usually Hollywood likes to put it in right after, and that's why a lot of times they shoot two movies at once so they could get that to happen. But anyway, any other last words, guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about it.
How many people watched the video? Watched the trailer already? Can you tell?
I'm gonna have to pull it back up, but hold on.
I mean, this will give us an idea of like how many people really.
No, it's like a Hollywood thing, so it's probably like a mill, but we'll see.
Well, a million is nothing, but I mean, I think if it did like 20 million, you're like, wow, there's a lot of pent up response. If it did like 10 million, that's pretty good response for people watching this stuff. So, those are the type of telltale signs that you can see. Like, wow, there's a lot of people who are interested in this stuff.
Hold on, I'll do this last one and then we're out of here.
But Cal, before you go, Cal, I mean, could this Joker you think survive in the same universe as a Superman?
No.
Okay.
Mars is 28 mil.
Wow. So you know what? This could be another hit. So that's a lot of hit. That's a lot. Warner Brothers, that may be another hit there. So, hey, so much for what we know, right?
I still kind of feel that we're right on the U.S. because the U.S. has been so haphazard. Maybe they go in there, but I think overseas it's probably gonna kill again. So, all right.
So did they make that with China money? Did they make that with China money, or did they just make that by? I mean, they had to have China in order to get 700 million. So
possibly it's insane that it's that much. All right then.
And so are people over there watching because they think the U.S. is nuts? This is a commentary on the United States.
Are you going into the part of superheroes, like the part of Hollywood and someone being put in an insane asylum? That's in like almost every time travel movie. You come in from another time, they throw you into an insane asylum. It happened. It's in what's that thing?
12 Monkeys. 12 Monkeys.
12 Monkeys. You have Signs. Was it whatever it was? The thing with the Mr. Glass, that sort of stuff. You have those.
Yeah.
It's so connected to Hollywood that I don't know if they might look at us as the people that the Moon Knight. You have something where we connect with. Like this insane, when on the edge, like this edge society. So it could be that, but Hollywood does it a lot on its own. So, I'm just saying they could get that from that impression from the movies that we make. So, all right, Spin a rack.
Out.
Out.
Out.